Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pause whatever you're doing. Let this moment be clear as crystal in your mind. Because today, we're peeling back the layers of all the nonsense that's been spoon-fed to you for years. I'm not here to coddle you, to pat you on the back, or tell you it's going to be okay. Life doesn't care about the tears you shed. It doesn't care about the nights you lie awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering why everything is falling apart. This world is ruthless, and every one of us here knows it deep down. But only a few of us are ready to accept it, face it, and rise above it. We live in a time when emotions are being exalted like some kind of golden standard. Cry all you want, and you're praised. Break down, and people call you brave. But let me ask you, when did this begin? When did we decide that the sound of a grown man sobbing is a testament to strength? When did we decide that the path to resilience is paved with whining and self-pity? Let's be honest here. Real strength doesn't come from the tears you cry. It comes from the times you hold back those tears, when you keep going despite every cell in your body screaming to stop. Now, I'm not saying that emotions are worthless. Hell, emotions are what make us human. They're powerful, but they're not meant to control you. They're meant to fuel you. You don't let your emotions run your life. You take those emotions and you turn them into fuel. Rage? That's power if you use it right. Fear? It'll sharpen you like a blade if you face it. Pain? The best damn teacher you'll ever have. Emotions aren't your enemy. They're your tools. But most men today are using them as an excuse. They use them as a crutch to lean on instead of a sword to wield. Too often, I see men who use their emotions as an excuse for why they're stuck where they are. Oh, I'm going through a hard time. I just need to work through my feelings. What you need to do is act. Get up and do something. Let me tell you something nobody wants to say out loud. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't stop moving because you're not in the right headspace. Life is a bulldozer, and it will crush you if you're just standing there in the way, crying and waiting for it to pass by. You either jump on board and steer, or you get flattened. It's as simple as that. Let me make it clearer. Emotions are not a substitute for action. You don't get a free pass in life just because you're going through some inner turmoil. If you're not actively doing something, if you're not pushing forward, nobody's going to feel sorry for you in the long run. Sure, people might give you a pat on the back. Maybe they'll say, take all the time you need. But what they're really saying is, we're moving forward with or without you. They won't stick around forever waiting for you to get it together. The world moves fast, and you're either keeping up or you're falling behind. Now let's talk about accountability. How often do you hear a guy say, I didn't mean to let you down, I was just feeling really low? Or, I couldn't do it because I wasn't in a good place mentally. That's weak talk. That's what it is. If you've got responsibilities, you step up and handle them. Period. Your family, they don't need your excuses. They need your strength, your job. It doesn't care about your mental state. It cares about your performance. You can cry about it, whine about it, make as many excuses as you want. But excuses don't get the job done. Only you can do that. Some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm really going through something serious? Listen to me. Every one of us has been through hell at some point in our lives. Every man worth his salt has faced hardships, battles, wounds that don't heal overnight. The difference is how you deal with it. Are you going to let it break you? Or are you going to let it forge you? Because that's what hardship is supposed to do. It's a forge. And in the forge, you either become stronger or you crack under the heat. Which one are you? This world is testing you every single day, whether you realize it or not. It's testing your limits, seeing just how much you can take before you snap. And every time you choose to give in to the excuses, every time you let emotions dictate your actions, you're failing that test. You're telling the world, I'm not ready, and life will move on, leaving you in the dust, wondering why nothing ever goes your way. But the truth is, nothing goes your way because you refuse to go after it with everything you've got. Emotions are a part of life, but they're not the end of it. If you spend every waking moment analyzing how you feel, if you're constantly looking inward, trying to understand every dark corner of your mind, you'll lose sight of the bigger picture. Your purpose isn't to wallow in your own thoughts and feelings. Your purpose is to go out into the world and make an impact, to build something, to fight for something, to leave behind a legacy that people can look at and say, "Now that was a man who didn't waste his life crying in the shadows." This modern narrative, this glorification of vulnerability, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, being honest with yourself is important, but honesty is nothing without action. And most people stop at honesty. They look at their lives, they see what's wrong, and they think that acknowledging it is enough. Newsflash, it's not. If you're not willing to put in the effort to change, to push through every obstacle, and own up to your failures, then you're just wasting time. You want to be someone people respect? Then act like it. Be the man who doesn't let emotions dictate his path. Be the man who feels the pain, acknowledges it, and then uses it as fuel to go even harder. Be the man who, when he feels anger, turns it into a drive to achieve more, to be more. Be the man who sees his own fear, looks it in the eye, and takes the next step anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. I'm tired of this notion that men are somehow at the mercy of their emotions, that we're fragile, that we need to be handled with care. That's not strength, that's surrender. If you want to be strong, truly strong, then you don't give your emotions that power over you. You take control, you direct them, you channel them. Stop using emotions as a crutch and start using them as a tool, because that's all they are, a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. And let's be real here. Every one of us has been broken at some point. Every one of us has felt pain, loss, betrayal, fear, and doubt. But the men who make it, the men who are worth remembering, are the ones who didn't let that define them. They didn't sit around waiting for someone else to save them. They didn't cry about it and expect the world to feel sorry for them. They got up, took that pain, and turned it into power. They kept going when others stopped. They rose above the suffering because they knew that's the only way forward. Gentlemen, your emotions are not the enemy, but they're not your savior either. They're a tool, one you control. And it's about time we remembered that. Don't let society's idea of expressing your emotions make you soft. Don't let it rob you of the drive, the discipline, and the iron will that defines real masculinity. Use those emotions as a weapon, a motivator, a spark to set fire to your goals. Stand tall, even when the world is trying to knock you down. Keep your head up, even when everything seems like it's falling apart, because that's what it means to be a man. You can't run from hardship. You can't hide from struggle, and you can't hope for an easy way out. Life isn't going to hand you anything on a silver platter. If you want it, go get it. If you fail, get back up. If it hurts, use the pain. But never, never make excuses.